In the realm of relationships, it's crucial to embody values rooted in self-respect and emotional resilience. When trying to reignite a connection or deepen an existing one, approach the situation from a place of inner strength and independence, steering clear of desperation. The first principle to embrace is to avoid becoming a mere option in someone else's life. If you're constantly reaching out, checking in, or seeking validation through excessive communication, you risk positioning yourself as a backup plan rather than a priority. This behavior not only erodes your self-worth, but also diminishes the likelihood of fostering genuine desire from the other person. Instead, aim to cultivate a presence that is felt even in your absence. This doesn't mean retreating out of fear or engaging in mind games, but rather focusing on your personal growth and pursuits. By doing so, you project an aura of value and self-sufficiency that naturally attracts others to you. Always remember, when you respect yourself and your time, others will be compelled to do the same. The key is finding a balance between being available and maintaining some distance, ensuring that you are never just an option, but always a choice. Another common misstep is the attempt to force someone into missing you. You might think that by frequently reminding them of shared memories or significant moments, you'll reignite that connection. For example, bringing up a memorable trip or special experience with the intent to stir emotions might seem like a clever strategy. However, this approach can often backfire, coming off as manipulative and insincere. It's akin to watching a poorly executed film that tries too hard to evoke emotions. It feels forced and is likely to be resisted. So, how can you inspire genuine longing without resorting to heavy-handed tactics? The answer lies in subtlety and foresight. The idea here is to plant seeds that naturally grow into lasting memories. From the outset of your interactions, think about actions that will leave a lasting impression. Although this strategy may seem counterintuitive, it is highly effective when used thoughtfully. A practical example involves using the power of sensory memory. Scent, for instance, is deeply tied to our recall of experiences. By consistently wearing a distinctive cologne or fragrance during your encounters, you create an emotional time capsule. Later, when that scent is encountered unexpectedly, it triggers a flood of memories, effortlessly bringing you to mind. The key is not to force these associations, but to let them form naturally, becoming woven into the fabric of your shared experiences. Another important aspect to consider is creating unique shared experiences that are exclusive to your relationship. Developing inside jokes or shared references builds a private world that only the two of you understand. When you engage in conversations that encourage her to open up about things she hasn't shared with others, you create a bond she will naturally miss when you're not around. This type of connection is not about manipulation. It's about genuine engagement. When she recalls these moments, the association will bring her back to you, often without her even realizing why. However, timing and context are crucial in these interactions. One essential principle is to always leave on a high note. When someone reaches out after a period of distance, whether it's an ex or someone with whom the connection has cooled, there's often a temptation to prolong the interaction as long as possible, especially if things are going well. Yet this can be counterproductive. Imagine your time together as a crescendo in a piece of music. There's a natural peak where everything feels perfect. If you stay beyond that peak, you risk descending into a less memorable or even negative experience. This is especially important when emotions are involved. Overstaying your welcome can lead to a situation where neediness or unresolved issues begin to surface, which can undo the positive feelings you've worked to create. Instead, be mindful of the arc of your interactions. Set a mental boundary for how long you'll stay or talk, and be disciplined in sticking to it. Ending the conversation or meeting on a positive note leaves her wanting more, ensuring that her last memory of your time together is a pleasant one. This approach not only preserves your dignity, but also subtly reinforces your value, making her more likely to seek out your company in the future. It's about creating memorable moments and then stepping back before the magic fades. This balance between engagement and restraint is a powerful way to create lasting impressions. A crucial principle to maintain your dignity and emotional well-being is to resist the temptation to monitor someone else's life, especially through social media. This behavior, often referred to as stalking, is detrimental on many levels. From a mental standpoint, obsessively checking someone's social media only drags you deeper into an emotional quagmire. It's easy to stumble upon things that stir up negative emotions, whether it's a photo that raises questions or a comment that triggers insecurities. This habit only amplifies anxiety, making it harder to stay composed and centered, which is essential if you're trying to rekindle a relationship or simply move forward. On a practical level, social media stalking can backfire when it inadvertently influences your interactions. The more you know about someone's life from afar, the more likely you are to slip up in conversation, revealing knowledge you shouldn't have. Casually mentioning something she posted online might come across as intrusive or desperate. It's a subtle but powerful way of signaling that you're paying more attention to her life than you should be. This not only diminishes your sense of mystery, but can also make you seem overly invested in a way that's unattractive. Moreover, liking posts or commenting too frequently doesn't bring you closer to the person. It often just solidifies your position as a peripheral figure in their life, a backup option rather than a main character. This doesn't mean you should ignore her presence entirely, but it does suggest that less is more. Instead of being a constant presence online, focus on creating moments of intrigue that make her wonder what you're up to, rather than always being there in the background. The underlying theme here is to maintain your own sense of independence and mystery. Avoid the urge to monitor her life from the sidelines. Instead, focus on living your own life fully, without constantly seeking validation or reassurance from social media interactions. This naturally leads to the next point: balancing mystery and subtlety when evoking a sense of jealousy. The art of sparking curiosity and mild jealousy lies in cultivating a sense of intrigue without overt manipulation. When you subtly introduce the unknown into your interactions or social presence, it naturally invites curiosity without the need to force a reaction. Consider this. When you see someone sharing an experience online, a concert, a weekend getaway, or even a simple night out, but they leave out key details, it's human nature to wonder who they were with and what the full story was. This gap in information creates a mental itch, a curiosity that lingers, often leading to speculation and, in some cases, a touch of jealousy. For instance, if you're recounting your weekend to someone, simply mentioning that you went skiing without elaborating on the company can stir curiosity. If she asks who you were with, a vague response like, "Just a friend," leaves enough ambiguity to keep her wondering. This approach works because it subtly suggests the possibility of another person in your life without directly stating it, allowing her mind to fill in the blanks. The key is in how you present yourself, both in conversation and online. Imagine sharing a photo of a drink at a bar, but instead of a solo beer, there's a cocktail next to it. A simple caption like, "Cheers to a great night," can be more powerful than explicitly stating who you're with. The implication of the second drink does the work for you, creating a scenario where she's left to wonder, possibly even feel a tinge of jealousy, without you having to spell it out. This approach also extends to social media posts. By maintaining a level of ambiguity, whether through the occasional vague post or selectively sharing your experiences, you create an aura of mystery. This isn't about playing games, it's about allowing others to realize they don't know everything about your life. It keeps you in their thoughts, because there's always something left unsaid, something they wish they knew. Ultimately, the goal is to maintain your own life and let others see that you're not always an open book. This encourages a natural curiosity that can lead to the very thoughts and emotions you're hoping to evoke, without ever having to resort to overt tactics or manipulation. The power lies in what's left unsaid, allowing the mystery to work in your favor. Creating a sense of competition is another effective strategy to make a woman miss you. The idea here is not to directly pit her against other women, but to subtly communicate that your time and attention are valuable, and that you're not entirely focused on her. This can make her realize that she's not the only priority in your life, which in turn can ignite a desire to win back that attention. When a woman pulls away or leaves you, she often believes she has the upper hand, thinking you're likely pining for her, waiting for any chance to reconnect. However, if you instead shift your focus to new activities, hobbies, or social circles, it sends a powerful message. You're not sitting around waiting for her. You're living your life fully and enjoying new experiences. For example, if she knows you as someone who was perhaps too focused on the relationship and then suddenly sees you diving into something new, like taking up golf, joining a club, or traveling, it disrupts her expectations. When she reaches out and you casually mention how busy you've been with this new passion or that new group of friends, it subtly signals that your world doesn't revolve around her. This can create a sense of competition, because now she's no longer certain that she's the center of your attention. Instead, she's competing with this new, exciting aspect of your life. The best part? You're not forcing anything. You're simply expanding your horizons and letting her notice that shift on her own. A key point here is to remain genuinely engaged in whatever you're doing. People can sense when you're trying to make them jealous or trying too hard to appear busy. But when your interests are authentic and your life is genuinely full, it naturally creates a sense of competition without any contrived effort. She starts to realize that if she doesn't step up, someone else or something else might capture the attention she once had. This approach isn't about manipulation. It's about living a balanced, fulfilling life where she sees that her place in it isn't guaranteed unless she values and nurtures the connection. Finally, one of the most significant things to avoid is chasing someone who has left you or is pulling away. Chasing, in any form, often backfires because it creates an imbalance in the relationship dynamics. The more you chase, the more she's likely to pull away because it reinforces the idea that you need her more than she needs you. This can create a sense of superiority on her part, diminishing her respect for you. Instead of chasing, focus on what you can control, yourself. When she realizes that you're not going to chase her, that you're content in your own life and not dependent on her presence, it can be a wake-up call. She might start to question why you're not reacting as expected, which can make her reevaluate her feelings and decisions. The key is to remain calm and composed, showing that while you care, you're not going to lose yourself trying to win her back. This strategy works because it's rooted in self-respect and emotional strength. By focusing on your own growth, you create a natural pull that's far more effective than any form of pursuit. It's about showing that while you value the relationship, you're not defined by it. This balance of caring without chasing is often what ultimately makes her miss you, as it demonstrates that you're someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to walk away if necessary. In conclusion, making a woman miss you isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding the nuances of human psychology and emotional connections. By avoiding the pitfalls of neediness and instead focusing on creating genuine, lasting impressions, you can naturally evoke a sense of longing. It's about respecting yourself enough to step back and let her come to you, knowing that in doing so, you're more likely to create a deeper, more meaningful connection that stands the test of time.